When you think of TikTok, just what exactly do you think of? Do you think of dance trends, makeup hacks, launching singing careers? I bet you probably have some sort of stereotypical view about the type of content you'll find on TikTok, which right now is one of the world's, if not the world's, top social media site. But TikTok, boy, does it ever have a whole lot more than just dancing, singing, and makeup. Right now on TikTok, you'll find a lot of political discussion. On TikTok, you'll find financial advice. And now TikTok creators are launching themselves as financial advisors, seeking to guide users with their advice on how to conquer the economic world. But as these creators become more popular and their advice is applied in the real world, experts are now warning users of the bad financial advice they are being taught, worried that TikTok has become a swamp that one can get carried away and leading them down a rabbit hole of bad information when it comes to finances. Jessica Moorhouse joins us on the line, a millennial money expert. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, just explain to me first things first. Difference between just a regular money expert and a millennial money expert.
Well, I mean, the only difference is that I'm a millennial, which at the time when I kind of branded myself as that, it meant you were young, and now it means I'm in my mid-30s.
So, Jessica, listen, I go on TikTok every now and again, and I see content that I'm like, wow, I'm surprised I'm getting this type of content on TikTok. What is your take on, the amount of financial advice we see on TikTok and whether or not it's worthwhile or not?
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I mean, in the internet in general, but TikTok is a really unique platform because, ultimately most of the content creators are younger and they're just discovering, the world of personal finance, which I think is a beautiful thing. That was me back in my 20s when I started my blog. But the problem I have is it is incredibly short form. There's not a lot of leeway in terms of you being able to go in depth about a topic or explain all the different sides. You've got a couple, 30 seconds at the most to grab people's attention and try to give them some sort of information that you think is valuable enough to entice them to, follow you and share your content so you can go viral. And so really what you're likely going to do is create content that will, maybe is controversial or something very exciting, or you're hitting some of those kind of emotional points that people have of, I'm really struggling with money. Ooh, this TikTok, creator is always talking about how to make money passively or how to beat the stock market in a very short amount of time. That's exactly what I need. And unfortunately, most of that information is misleading. It's misinformation. It doesn't tell the whole story. And a lot of these content creators have absolutely no formal education or training or credentials. So you've got to be very, very careful who you're listening to.
When you mentioned, Jessica, what is it called again? The passive
income. That's
passive
a
income.
Huge trend.
Oh, I see this all the time. It's just some smug individual. I don't even work anymore. It just, the money comes to me. And all you need to do is take a few seconds here and you realize it's a house of cards they're talking about. But it must be so enticing to people. So how do you fight back against that type of information?
I mean, quite honestly, a lot of it is just a gut check. Because this type of information, has been around for ages, but it's just evolved over time depending on what the new cool platform is. But, there has been kind of skeezy money experts or gurus out there for decades who promise the impossible, like, hey, don't you want to never work again? I can show you the 6 steps on how to do that. And then you buy their, product, their program, and then you realize, oh, this is actually a bunch of hoo-ha. They're not actually giving me any information on how to do this. And the other kind of really important thing to keep in mind is anyone can say anything on this platform. There's no policing. There's no real, consequences. Maybe you'll get shadow banned or TikTok will kind of hold your account or something like that, but I haven't seen that a lot. So anyone can say anything on this platform. They can also disappear after maybe selling something that isn't, it's not delivering what they promised, and you'll never see them again. Kind of like that traveling salesman who promises you the world, and then you never see them again. And it's something you've got to be really important to. If there's a red flag, if something seems too good to be true, it likely is. So be careful.
So what are the consequences, Jessica, to this kind of stuff? What are the real world consequences to people that are following this bad advice?
Well, that's the thing. There's hardly any consequences for that content creator who can say whatever they want. There's a lot of consequences for the viewer who actually is taking some of that information and integrating it into their life. You know, maybe they heard, oh, you should buy this stock. It's going to go up really quickly and you can make a good amount of money in a really short amount of time. Well, you can buy that stock and it can go the reverse. It can actually lose a value. You can lose all your money. And, you know, you can't sue this person. You may not be able to find them again, or they may have like that hashtag not advice, or, hey, I didn't tell you to buy it. I just suggested it was possibly a good idea. And so they use kind of, you know, their language to kind of protect themselves. But you're the one that gets hurt in the end. And I know a lot of people over the past few years, especially since TikTok really grew in popularity over the past couple of years because of COVID, people were online a lot more. A lot of people have lost a lot of money by taking advice from people they really shouldn't have.
We're with millennial money expert Jessica Moorhouse. So just on the investment advice column, Jessica, that to me is where it seems like following this kind of thing could lead to risky behavior from people that do need to be saving and investing, right? I don't know if you could add anything more to that end, the risky behavior that this kind of thing leads to.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's important to take risk when investing. That's an important element of investing. But I think most people don't understand what that actually means. There's lots of different levels of risk, and you need to be smart and strategic about what kind of risk you're taking, how much, what you're actually comfortable with. But, what you see a lot online is these people report that you need to take all the risk. There's no, you're not going to make any money if you don't take any risk, but they are suggesting some of the riskiest investment endeavors, such as cryptocurrency or day trading or all these meme stocks that, could, there's maybe 1% or less that actually make any money. The rest obviously lose quite a bit. And so it's really important to always, fact check. Yeah. Google search should be, hey, this TikToker is really talking about this new cryptocurrency. They say it's, it's going to go to the moon. Should I do a Google search? Does it actually even exist? There's a lot of scams out there. You've got to be really careful. And what I always kind of say, and this is why I am not on TikTok because it's just not for me, is, do the traditional thing that people have been doing forever. Read books, talk to actual experts with credentials, work with a financial planner. Take some actual time to learn what you don't know. Don't just take these bits and pieces from TikTok and then, start making some moves with your money. You may end up regretting it.
Jessica, we're going to leave it there, but really fascinating discussion. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
You can find out more with millennial money expert Jessica Moorhouse.